All right, so today we just want to do a case study, a trade that we took yesterday and how we lost in that trade. And the trade was basically here, Gbpnzd. So I sent it in the group here. I was like, this is where we're going to sell it. And this will be our first target here. And then eventually we target these lows here. So let's go through it and see how it really played out because it's important. So let me just go to the charts. So on the chart, this is how the trade is. And this is how we lost 1% here. So I need to analyze exactly why we had to take this trade without even thinking about why it ended up being a loss, because that is important. So let me just go to wrap everything up. I go to my weekly. So usually we start our trading from the highest time frame possible. So let's start with the monthly. So I can just wrap everything off and then I start afresh. So on the monthly, we always mark our highs and then our lows. So this was definitely our resistance, of which it was our all-time high. And then we had another high here. It was a confirmation of resistance. So we had resistance, meaning price has a higher chance of being bearish. And then we went on to mark our low. So this was our low, all-time low, a low in this chart. And then we had another low here. And then we had an area of price difference, which is here, this clear break. So again, if you don't know about price difference, you check the videos we've done previously, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So once we had that, we thought price has a chance of pulling back down. Okay. And then from here, we begin to come to the weekly. We wanted to understand how price is actually behaving in these lows here. Now, if you look at this, we had a bearish, we have bearish, and then we have this one opposite candle, this which is our supply. So the whole of this area becomes our supply area, and that is an area in which we shall be interested to look for trades. And then we had a low here. Okay, so once we had this, we know when we get a reaction from this area of supply, we could actually head down. So from here, we had to mark our weekly high, which was this. Remember, this is Wednesday. So we had last week's high was there inside the supply area. So once we were waiting for price to clear this weekly high and gives us a resistance, then we could actually head down. So we had to come to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, you can clearly see the supply area, which is here. So if I'm to just mark it more clearly, this is the break. Okay, just to, you see this strong bearish candle break here, that is what we call our price difference, this one, because there's a difference between this high and then this low by this candle here. So from this break, that is where we actually had our resistance area. So we had this break. So the whole of this area is resistance, or what you would call your supply area. So once we had this, this was our previous week, also here. So from this, we can begin to say that when price reaches into this supply area, there is a higher chance that price will be resisted and head back down. And then now finally we had to come to the 4-hourly, and that is where we had a trade. Now, let me explain exactly why we had a trade and why we continue to take trades like that on a constant basis. So this is our supply area. And then from the supply area, all we were looking for a resistance. But then so this was the high, but we need to understand this is a high and then price came to form a new low. So if you look at this low is lower than this. So we had a low and then we had another lower low. So the moment we have a lower low and then we have a resistance up here, okay, the next thing we want to see a scenario whereby this resistance holds price by clearing the highs here. So, and that is exactly what happened. So we had this other high here, which was a resistance. This one was cleared by this candle. So the moment this was cleared, and then we had a bearish candle, I couldn't take it. The first one, I needed an exception. So we had this. I wanted the candle to close exactly below this, because this was the clearance, or what you would call your liquidity or resistance area, because the whole of this is a resistance area. And then I had a strong bearish candle, but I wanted more confirmation. This candle had to close. So market pushed up, did more clearance, and then closed back inside with this. So the moment I saw this candle here, this one, this bearish candle, which has actually touched that, I was like, yeah, we can have an entry. And I had an entry here and then a stop loss just above that, just around there, which was around 37, 38 pips around there. And then I was targeting now this first low here for my first TP. So if price had come here, I would make 1 to 2 point, almost 1 to 3, 1 to 2.9, and then eventually the bigger target here for 1 to 8. But then now, do you see what happened? Price actually went and took us out. Stop loss was hit, but now look at what the market is doing. It is heading in our direction. But that is it. So this is a trade I will take again and again and again. Let me just show you where I took it some time back in the case study GBP. We also took a trade like that, similar trade like that, and that trade was actually here. Okay, so we took the trade here because we had this area. If I'm to analyze the whole of that, it will also look the same. So we had this area here, and then we had the resistance here, and then we had the highs being cleared, and then we took a trade here some time back. So if you look carefully, that is a pattern which is exactly the same as the Gbpnzd pattern that we have taken. So now the lesson I want you to learn from this is that trading is not all about winning all the time. It's about following your trading plan or your strategy to the letter. The moment you can follow your trading plan and your strategy to the letter, then you can actually begin to make money, because one loss may not put you back. This is not an account blowing loss. It is a loss of 1%. And then we can make it up in the next trade. But that is the case study of Gbpnzd and how we lost on that trade. And then the trade continued to go in our direction. So this trade actually could have a potential of going all the way here. Can I enter here now? No, there is no reason to enter. So I just have to wait for other trades, which are along this. So this is the trade analysis. See you. So here we share losses, profits.